Power isn't loud. Real power is the person in the room who doesn't feel the need to explain himself. Most people don't realize this, but behavioral psychology shows that humans react more strongly to unpredictable confidence than to loud, performative dominance. And that's exactly why Sigma males unintentionally intimidate people. They don't perform power. They embody it, without effort. Their silence isn't empty. Their calm isn't weakness. And their lack of trying is precisely what makes everyone else uncomfortable. While others are running social marathons, desperately trying to prove their value, the Sigma male is simply present. And somehow, that quiet presence alone shifts the emotional temperature of the room. People straighten their posture. Conversations subtly change. Egos shrink. And someone in the corner suddenly realizes their confidence didn't show up with them. The most ironic part? The Sigma male has no idea this is happening. Sigmas don't walk around thinking, yes, let me intimidate everyone here. Most of the time, they're thinking something far simpler, like, why is everyone acting strange? I'm literally just standing here. But there is a reason for it, a psychological reason, an energetic one, and sometimes a brutally honest one that exposes just how fragile most people really are. Today, we're breaking down 8 signs a Sigma male is far more intimidating than he realizes. Not because he's trying to threaten anyone, but because his very nature disrupts comfort zones, exposes insecurities, and challenges the unspoken rules of modern social behavior. This isn't the cliché mysterious man nonsense. This is the raw, subconscious impact a Sigma male has on everyone around him. Let's get into it. Number 1, he keeps his goals private, and that makes people uneasy. One of the most quietly unsettling traits of a Sigma male is how guarded he is about his ambitions. He doesn't broadcast his plans online, boast about his goals at social gatherings, or drop subtle hints to earn admiration. Instead, he keeps everything internal, moving forward in silence, calculating his steps carefully and deliberately. In a world obsessed with visibility and validation, this level of restraint is rare. And without realizing it, people around him feel unsettled. When others constantly talk about their dreams and future plans, they create predictability. Predictability feels safe. It gives people the illusion of control. The Sigma male shatters that illusion. Because he never announces his intentions, no one can anticipate his next move. He progresses with quiet purpose, and that uncertainty makes observers uneasy. Their minds begin filling in the blanks, often exaggerating his capabilities and imagining outcomes far larger than reality. As a result, his presence grows heavier in their perception. This silence also signals a deeper, unspoken confidence. When a man doesn't seek validation, approval, or recognition, it triggers subconscious comparison. People start asking themselves uncomfortable questions. Why doesn't he need to prove anything? Are his goals bigger than mine? Is he capable of something I couldn't even attempt? That tension alone is intimidating. Friends, colleagues, and even strangers sense that his world is self-contained, disciplined, controlled, and untouched by external noise. They may not know what he's building, but they can feel the potential. This is power that doesn't announce itself. It doesn't demand attention, yet it's impossible to ignore. A Sigma male's privacy becomes a mirror reflecting everyone else's insecurity. It exposes how much noise people make just to feel important. While others perform their ambitions for attention, he's quietly constructing them, steadily, patiently, and without compromise. That silent momentum is far more intimidating than any loud display of dominance. It's the unseen, unspoken commitment to his path that makes him unknowingly threatening, leaving others scrambling long before they even understand what he's capable of. Number 2, he uses eye contact with precision, not emotion. A Sigma male's gaze isn't aggressive or confrontational. He doesn't glare. He doesn't smirk. And he rarely tries to look powerful. Instead, his eye contact is precise, measured, controlled, and uncomfortably accurate. When he looks at someone, it feels less like a stare and more like an assessment. As if he's quietly observing patterns, intentions, and inconsistencies without uttering a single word. That kind of attention bypasses surface-level interaction and goes straight to the subconscious. Most people rely on emotional cues, smiles, nods, expressions, to gauge safety and intent. The Sigma male removes all of that noise. He offers no emotional signals, yet communicates complete awareness. And that's what unsettles people. They feel exposed without being accused. Evaluated without being judged. His eyes reflect clarity, not emotion, and clarity cannot be negotiated with, distracted, or manipulated. There's also a psychological weight to this kind of eye contact. On a primal level, people recognize when they're being observed closely. They start second-guessing their words, gestures, and posture. The Sigma male doesn't force this reaction, it happens naturally. His calm, steady gaze becomes a mirror, silently pushing others to confront themselves. This is why a Sigma male can influence a room without saying a word. His presence alone creates tension, encourages honesty, and demands awareness. It's not dominance through aggression, it's authority through perception. People feel analyzed without accusation, measured without explanation. And that quiet scrutiny is far more unsettling than any overt threat. Ultimately, his eye contact becomes a form of silent command. Subtle, controlled, unnervingly effective. Most people never realize it, but the moment they lock eyes with a Sigma male, they're already being evaluated against a standard they can't define, let alone reach. Number 3, people talk about him more than he talks to them. One of the most quietly intimidating traits of a Sigma male is that he never needs to dominate conversations to be noticed. While most people crave visibility, validation, or approval, the Sigma male remains reserved. He doesn't overshare, explain himself, or try to be memorable, yet he becomes exactly that. Because he reveals so little, others do the talking for him. People speculate. They analyze. They create narratives around his silence. And without realizing it, they elevate his presence far beyond his actual actions. Human psychology is wired to react strongly to mystery. When information is missing, the mind fills in the blanks, often exaggerating competence, intelligence, influence, or status. The Sigma male doesn't fuel this dynamic, he's indifferent to it. But the effect is powerful. Whispers turn into assumptions. Assumptions turn into reputation. Without asserting dominance or demanding respect, he becomes a reference point, someone others compare themselves to without ever being invited to do so. Conversations orbit around him even when he's not in the room. The more people talk, the more his influence expands, and the more they unconsciously adjust their behavior around him. This is what makes it unsettling. His presence grows without effort. His authority forms without declaration. Loud personalities fight for attention, the Sigma male attracts it simply by existing. By the time others recognize what's happening, they're already affected, drawn into his orbit, shaped by his silence, and unsettled by how little control they actually have. Number 4, his honesty isn't softened, and people feel it. Another reason Sigma males intimidate others is their unfiltered honesty. They don't dilute the truth to protect egos, and they don't dress reality up to gain approval. When they speak, it's direct, precise, and stripped of unnecessary emotion. This alone makes people tense. Not because he's cruel or judgmental, but because his words carry clarity. He doesn't posture. He doesn't perform. He simply states what is, without concern for how it will land. That calm detachment is deeply disarming. People instinctively realize they can't manipulate him with flattery or hide behind half-truths. His honesty removes social padding. There's no warning before it arrives, no dramatic build-up, no attempt to soften the impact. And because it comes from a place of emotional neutrality, it forces others to actually listen. His words linger. They settle. They provoke reflection long after the conversation ends. Unlike aggressive personalities who rely on volume or force, the Sigma male lets truth do the work. He doesn't overpower discussions, he cuts through them. His presence creates tension simply because people know he won't play along with illusions, excuses, or comfort lies. In the end, his honesty isn't just a character trait, it's a quiet form of dominance. It exposes motives, challenges facades, and unsettles egos without confrontation. People walk away feeling seen in ways they didn't expect, carrying the weight of a conversation that revealed more than they were prepared for. And that lingering awareness, that's what truly intimidates them. Number 5, his presence makes confident people doubt themselves. One of the most subtly unsettling traits of a Sigma male is his ability to make even the most confident individuals pause, reassess, and recalibrate, without saying a single word. He doesn't challenge openly, compete for dominance, or seek confrontation. Instead, he exists with a level of inner stability and authenticity that quietly exposes the cracks in other people's projected confidence. People who usually enter a room feeling untouchable suddenly begin scrutinizing their words, their posture, even their breathing. This isn't intimidation through force or ego, it's intimidation through presence. The Sigma male isn't performing, posturing, or seeking validation. He operates on a calm, self-assured frequency that signals total comfort within himself. That composure unsettles those who rely on attention, approval, or social theatrics to feel powerful. Their jokes, volume, or forced charm, tools that normally protect their status, suddenly feel ineffective. On a subconscious level, they sense that he isn't impressed. And that realization alone is enough to destabilize them. Even experienced leaders and high-status individuals feel this effect. They begin editing their behavior, hesitating before speaking, and second-guessing decisions they would normally make without hesitation. The Sigma male offers no critique and no guidance, yet his awareness acts like a silent mirror, highlighting insecurities, pretenses, and weaknesses without accusation. His silence amplifies the effect. While others rush to fill space with noise, his calm detachment draws attention inward, forcing people to confront themselves. They may not understand why they feel exposed or uneasy, only that something about his presence disrupts their confidence. In essence, he doesn't dominate or compete. He destabilizes by being unshakable. And that quiet power is far more intimidating than any loud display of authority, because it forces others to measure themselves against a standard they never agreed to, but instinctively respect. Number 6, people assume he knows more than he reveals. A Sigma male has a way of making people believe he's always several steps ahead, even when he's barely spoken. This isn't because he's scheming or trying to appear intelligent, it's the way he carries himself. Quiet, observant, intentional. That demeanor convinces others that there's a depth beneath the surface they can't access. People instinctively fill in the gaps. They assume he possesses insight, strategy, or understanding far beyond what he openly shares. And that assumption alone creates an undeniable sense of intimidation. This effect stems from his minimalist communication style. He doesn't over-explain, over-justify, or overshare. While others talk to establish credibility, he responds with restraint, a nod, a carefully chosen word, or silence. That restraint triggers over-analysis. People begin dissecting every gesture, every pause, every glance, projecting intelligence and foresight onto him whether it exists or not. The Sigma male never claims authority. It's handed to him. And because it's granted rather than demanded, it holds more psychological weight. His unpredictability compounds the effect. People can't anticipate his reactions, thoughts, or next move, which makes them cautious, guarded, and slightly uneasy. They begin overestimating his capabilities, and that overestimation gives him influence without effort. While most people work tirelessly to appear sharp or strategic, the Sigma achieves the same effect simply by being self-contained and observant. This silent projection of assumed knowledge is deeply unsettling because it undermines others' confidence without confrontation. People second-guess their understanding, their judgments, and even their decisions, all because they feel he sees more than they do. In the end, a Sigma male's intelligence isn't measured by what he reveals, but by what others believe he knows. That invisible weight, built through silence, precision, and awareness, makes him a presence people respect, fear, and continuously analyze, even when he has no intention of leading, teaching, or asserting control. Number 7, his neutral expression gets mistaken for silent judgment. One of the most subtly intimidating traits of a Sigma male is his neutral, unreadable expression. He isn't attempting to intimidate, impress, or manipulate anyone, but his composed presence often makes people feel exposed. His face doesn't signal approval, disapproval, or emotion. Yet paradoxically, others assume it does. That calm, blank exterior becomes a psychological mirror, reflecting back people's own insecurities, doubts, and hidden tensions. Even highly confident individuals can find themselves unsettled around him. Humans are conditioned to read faces constantly. A smile, a smirk, a frown, or a raised eyebrow all serve as social cues that help people navigate interactions. When a Sigma male withholds those cues, it disrupts that process entirely. People can't tell what he's thinking, how he feels, or where they stand with him, and that uncertainty creates discomfort. Faced with ambiguity, the human mind defaults to caution. Without realizing it, people begin monitoring themselves closely, replaying their words, adjusting their tone, and filtering their behavior to avoid imagined judgment. What amplifies this effect is that the Sigma male rarely does this on purpose. He isn't calculating reactions or trying to project dominance. His neutrality is simply a byproduct of his self-control and internal focus. Yet that stillness communicates awareness in a way exaggerated expressions never could. People assume there's an internal commentary happening, even if there isn't, and that assumption magnifies his presence. In everyday interactions, friends, coworkers, and strangers subtly alter how they behave around him. They straighten up, soften their words, and become more deliberate, all because his expression gives them nothing to read. It feels like standing in front of a mirror that doesn't flatter or explain, only reflects. In the end, his neutral face becomes a quiet form of authority. It doesn't demand respect, yet it naturally commands it by making others acutely aware of themselves. Number 8, people feel seen through, even when he wasn't paying attention. A Sigma male carries a presence that makes people feel exposed without any deliberate effort. He isn't staring, interrogating, or consciously analyzing anyone. Still, there's an underlying sense that he sees beyond surface-level behavior. People instinctively feel that he can detect pretense, insecurity, and hidden motives, and that perception alone makes him quietly intimidating. This effect comes from his heightened awareness and internal composure. He moves through social environments attentively, picking up on details most people overlook, subtle shifts in posture, fleeting expressions, nervous habits. He rarely comments on these things, but others can feel that awareness. It creates a subtle psychological pressure, as if their inner thoughts or concealed intentions are more visible than they intended. Even complete strangers find themselves adjusting, choosing words more carefully, smoothing out mannerisms, or becoming unusually self-aware around him. What makes this even more powerful is his indifference to the effect. He isn't trying to expose anyone. He isn't seeking control or validation. His awareness simply exists, and that's enough. The human mind fills in the gaps, assuming he understands far more than he's revealed. That assumption builds an aura of quiet authority. Even socially skilled, confident individuals instinctively hesitate around him, sensing, on some level, that their usual masks won't fully work. Ultimately, this ability to make people feel seen through isn't about intelligence or interrogation. It's about presence. The combination of calm, awareness, and self-possession creates an unspoken tension. People walk away from interactions with him sensing that something about them was noticed, even if nothing was said. And that realization lingers far longer, and cuts far deeper, than any deliberate attempt at intimidation ever could. Final reflection. A Sigma male's power isn't loud, flashy, or desperate for attention. It's subtle, precise, and deeply psychological. Every pause, every glance, every silence carries weight, not because he intends it to, but because his presence disrupts expectations and exposes insecurity. He doesn't compete for dominance. He embodies clarity, independence, and self-possession so fully that others are forced to react, to adjust, question, admire, or even fear him without fully understanding why. From the way people unconsciously edit their behavior, to the silent authority of his calm, the Sigma male reshapes environments effortlessly. His privacy intimidates. His honesty disarms. His stillness commands respect. This is influence that can't be measured by status or popularity. It's instinctive, invisible, and unstoppable. Understanding these traits isn't just about recognizing Sigma males, it's about recognizing a rare form of power that requires no validation, no noise, and no control. True intimidation isn't aggression. It's presence, precision, and self-mastery. And once you see it, you'll start noticing it everywhere. If this breakdown resonated, make sure to subscribe for more deep dives into psychology and hidden influence. Like the video, share your thoughts in the comments, and pass this on to someone who needs to understand how real power moves in silence.